If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hey, hi, good morning, Bindu.
Good evening.
Hey, hi, good evening. So, uh, let me go through the agenda, okay, for the upcoming sessions, okay, regarding the Workday HCM, and so on those particular sessions, what we will be going to discuss, okay. So, did you
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to look at the site which has been shared with you or with you? I believe it has been shared with you, right?
Yes, I have gone through it.
Okay, sure. So let me quickly talk about that as well. Okay, so we will just go through the basics of those things. So what we are going to cover in the next session, next set of classes, I believe it should be completed by next week. Okay, and then okay, we will go ahead with the sessions.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'll share my screen. I was just going to share the screen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in today's class, we will just go through the overview of the sessions which we are going to cover. And probably from the next class, I will be going through the each module which we have to cover, okay, as part of this session. So we have these many modules to be covered, okay, as part of your session, Bindu. So we have module 1, which will cover the Workday Core HCM, okay. And in this particular module, we are going to talk about the performance cycle in Workday, okay. So how the performance review is being done in Workday. So what are the different components which are there in the performance review cycle, okay. So we are going to talk about that. So we will also take the examples of real-time scenarios, okay, how how you will deal with, let's say if you are a HR partner, okay, and you have to deal with the performance review cycles of the employees. So how you will go ahead and perform that thing in Workday,
Okay,
okay.
sorry for interruption. Why only performance review? Because the core SCM includes only the performance review or other things as well.
So other things as well. So it is, as of now, that's what we identified from the job.
Job
So,
description?
right, from the job description which you have posted. And as well as, okay, so we thought that it will just give you the more the visibility of more complex scenarios of the Workday Core HCM. If you need
Okay.
any other things in this particular detail, so we will
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and cover that, but that's what we thought about to cover in the module 1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I wanted to give you the overview. So if you need any other details to be discussed here to be included, we can go ahead and include that as well as part of this particular session. Okay, there should not be any issue on that. But let me just give you, okay, what we are going to cover as part of the Workday Core HCM. Okay, so in the first module, okay, we have the Workday Core HCM thing. Okay, and again, one more thing. So for each module, we have the assessments as well as the lab activities, I believe, which you have seen during your HCM overview sessions in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to have the same set of same kind of activities, but not the same activities. So for example, let's say if we talk about the module 1, which is Workday
Mm-hmm.
Core HCM, and
Mm-hmm.
in this, as we are going to talk about the performance review cycle. So if I go
Mm-hmm.
to the lab activity, here
Mm-hmm.
you have the lab activity related to that performance review cycle. Okay, similarly, you have the managing of the self-assessments and the manager assessments of that particular like assessments of the employees. Okay, so for each module which you see on the screen here, you have the lab activities as well. Okay, and these lab activities are, you know, are descriptive as well. Okay, so you will have the steps to be performed, as well as, let's say, you have you have to refer something, so you will get that information in this particular lab activity. Apart from that, during the tenure of this course, I will be showing you the, how you can create and how you can configure the things related to these modules in Workday. Okay, so like previously, did you ever get a chance to work on the performance review cycle from your side?
No.
Okay, so there should not be an issue in that. Then I believe it will be a great learning experience for you as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so yep. So let me quickly just show you what are the things which we are going to have in this particular module 1. Okay, so we have, you know, we will also prepare this kind of documentation for myself, okay, just to show you how the things will be covered in the going sessions, okay, in the upcoming sessions, okay. So for example,
Sure.
if you talk about, yeah, if you talk about the performance review cycle, so I will just explain you, if you are HR specialist or HR partner, so how you will manage the annual performance review of all employees in the organization, okay. So how you
Mhm.
will set up the performance review cycle, how the collection and the reviewing of the self-assessments will be done, how the manager will assess the reviews, okay, or the assessments of the employees' performance, okay, and how that will be related to the compensation reviews based on the ratings which will be received to the employees, okay. So
Sure.
for each module, I will be going ahead and prepare such kind of agenda and will be going with you with the detailed discussions on the same. Okay, so we will try to divide the sessions. Let's say if we have a 1 hour session, then we will try to divide the sessions with with 4 to 5 sub sessions in that particular 1 hour, so that in each 15 to 20 minutes I will be going ahead and will be explaining you the details of that particular module. Okay, so for example, if we talk about this performance review, we will be talking about the introduction of the performance review in Workday. So how the performance review process happens in Workday. Okay, so
Mhm.
how you can configure the review templates in Workday. Similarly, next set of minutes we will be discussing about the performance review cycle. Okay, it's a kind of activity. Okay, so how you will create a new performance cycle. Okay, how you will configure the review template and how that will be assigned to the participants or the employees in Workday. Okay,
Mhm.
similarly, we will be dividing. So for example, for this module 1, we will be dividing this self assessments and the manager assessments. Okay, so how the review and approval of the self assessments will be done in the system. Next, for example, for this module, we'll be going ahead and discuss about the compensation review and the recommendations. Okay, so how these performance rating related to the how it will relate to the compensation. Okay, so how the
Mhm.
compensation reviews will be done. Okay, so how the recommendations will be done based on the performance reviews. Okay,
Okay.
then for the performance review, we might also be having different kind of reports which you can take leverage of and which you can use to generate the performance review reports. Okay, so you
Okay.
will be able to analyze the performance data of the employees. So this is just the overview how we are going to have the sessions for each modules present in the site which I was just explaining you. Okay,
Mhm.
so we have prepared these PPTs based on these PPTs and these modules based on the job recommendations which you have shared with us. Okay, the job requirements which you have shared with us, and we have
Mhm.
just gone through that and prepared these particular modules, okay, according to those job recommendations. So we tried to include the uh, the the overall or the overview of the things which were mentioned in the job recommendations. Okay,
Sure.
similarly, we have another module for business object, which includes the primary business object and related business object. Okay, so how these things are primary business object and related business objects are related, are interlinked in Workday. Okay, so I believe you might have worked in the Workday reporting. Okay, so there you might have seen the connection
Mhm.
between the primary business object and related business object, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you might have also have the experience on the filters and the sub filters of the report. Okay,
Yes, I
so
have.
right, so this is how we will be covering the details of the PBO and the RBO in this particular module. So let me just open this as well in another tab. Okay, so this report shows that which these things we are going to discuss in this particular primary business object and related business object. So this second what I can say, this PPT or the second module might not take the much time. Okay, because we have the you might know the information of the PBO and the RBO, but we will just show you the practical examples of PBO and RBO in the system as well. Okay, so what are the attributes of PBO, how it is related to the RBO, and what are the different attributes of RBO as well. Similarly, these concepts of PBO and RBO will be used in the Workday reporting as well, where we will talk about the advanced custom reports in Workday. Okay, so if I show you here, under the Workday reporting, we will be trying to cover these many, things in Workday. Okay, so we will be also discussing about the Workday integration in this particular Workday reporting. Have you ever worked with the EIBs in the past, Bindu?
Yes.
Okay, so we will be uh, using that as well. Okay, so how that can be used, like how reports can be used in EIBs. Okay, and how the integration works in the EIB. Okay, sorry, integration works in Workday. So we will also talk about the Workday integration application. So we might have, we also have the reporting structure for the financials. We will be also taking some sample examples of the financial reportings in Workday. Okay, so how you can run the standard reports, how the custom reports are created. I believe you already know that, but we will take the example of complex things in the Workday. Okay, in Workday. So for example, as you, if you remember in the first session, which we, in the first, meeting, which when we met, you discussed that, the, basics of custom reports, like, how the fields are added, let's say first name, last
Yes.
name, right? So, but in this particular report, in this particular session, we will be deep diving into the Workday reporting, mainly on the advanced custom reports. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the advanced custom reports, and we will go ahead and create some custom reports which will be complex in nature. Okay, not only on the worker business object, but how, the financials will be related to the worker business object. Okay, so how you can fetch that information, so how you will select the data sources for the requirement. So, do you want to
So,
say something?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
So are we covering the matrix report and the composite report as well?
No, 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 not in this session, not in this particular session. Okay, so we will just cover the advanced custom reports in this particular session. So do you need, like, do you uh, need the discussion, or do you need the idea of matrix and composite reports as well? Because that will be a lengthy discussion. Okay, matrix and
Okay.
composite reports, and that, like, that needs, that won't be able to be covered in 1 or 2 sessions. Okay, that's the complex thing in Workday. If you know, like, Workday provides the separate certifications for reporting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so under the reporting, Workday provides I mean to say, Workday trains the participants, especially for reporting, which includes the custom reports, advanced custom reports, matrix reports, the composite reports, and all those things. So it will not possible for us to uh, you know cover the details of matrix and composite reports in this particular session.
Okay.
Okay, so we will be talking about the advanced custom reports in this particular session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have the activities as well for these custom reports. Okay, so how, like, and also, if I show you the activity for module 5, I believe it should be module 4, but again, so here, how the custom reports will be created, and how that will be, you know shown under the dashboard, on the employee profile, how the widgets will be shown on the employee profile, and so and all those things. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
these things we'll be covering in the custom reports. Okay, it's a kind of complex things for the advanced custom reports, but we won't touch base on the composite and the matrix reports
Okay.
from our end. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, but if you need in future, we can arrange the sessions, but as of now, no. Okay, so we have, again, then we will move to the Workday security part, where we will talk about the different aspects of Workday security. Okay, so in your previous HCM overview session, you might have heard, or you might have seen the the basics of Workday security, where you might have seen the role-based securities and user-based securities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this session, we will deep dive into the Workday security things, where we will just go ahead and we'll show you the real-time examples of the role-based securities, user-based securities, intersection-based securities, and the integration system security groups, and so on. Okay, we will talk about individual security groups in detail in this particular class, and also we will show you how, on the employee profile, by taking the examples on the employee profile. Let's take one example. Okay, let's say we have emergency contacts on the employee profile, right? So how the emergency contacts, you can hide it from a particular security group, or how you can give the access to that emergency contacts to a particular security group. Okay, similarly, on the Workday reporting, okay, we might show you how you can associate, or how you can get the information of the integration system security group, and how you can assign an ISU to that particular report. So if how you will be able to see, or how you will be able to confirm that the ISU which is attached to the report has the proper access of that particular report.
Okay.
Okay, so we will go into the details of the Workday security, and we'll talk about with the real time scenarios, as well as the experience which we have from our end. Okay, we will share that with you.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Then we have the Workday compensation. So where we will discuss about the compensation related things in Workday. Okay, I believe
Mm-hmm.
you already have the information of the Workday compensation, like the what is comp grade, what is the compensation
Some
grade
profile.
profile, right, and so on. So we will discuss more about such things under the Workday compensation. So let me just open this as well in this particular slide.
Mm-hmm.
So under this compensation details, we will again go ahead with the overview of the Workday compensation, the what is plans, what are the grade structures, how the salary structures are defined, and how they can be associated with a particular job profile in Workday, and while hiring, how you can configure such things in Workday. Okay, we will again go through the real-time examples as well for the compensation things. It's just a review of the things which you have covered in the previous sessions, but with much more detailed session on these particular topics.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will talk about the Workday security scenarios. So whatever the things which we have covered under the Workday security in the module 4, we will go ahead and talk about the Workday security scenarios for such things. Okay, let's say how in the real-time scenario, how and when the intersection security group comes into place. Okay, how it will be useful for the organization, the intersection security groups. Similarly, you might have the user, when to use the user-based security groups, and when to use the role-based security groups, and so on. So we have different types of security groups. In this module 6, we will talk about the scenarios for all those security groups in Workday. Okay, we will just cover the details regarding the scenarios, real-time scenarios of the Workday security.
So why only the Workday security is detached with that module of 4? So I think module 4 is covering the scenarios as well, right?
So
Because
in the module 4, we will just we will more focus on the, because we have different types of securities, right? So we might
right.
cover, yeah, we might cover the theory part of the Workday securities. Okay, as Workday security is a very important thing, so we just wanted to segregate with the real-time scenarios as well as the theory part. Okay, so you might have the different scenarios listed in the module 6.
So, okay, Mayank,
Mhm.
so we would be covering the, as you said, that the different type of security, like role-based, user-based. So we would be
Right,
covering other security as well, like as you said, the ISU, right? And
right,
the another one is that the location-based and the
right.
organization-based.
Right,
Okay,
right. So we'll be covering these securities as well as part of this class. Okay, we
okay.
you have the job-based security groups in Workday, right? So how the job-based security groups will work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember, job-based security groups are created based on the job profiles, or let's say grade levels of the employees, right?
All right.
But sometimes what happens is, let's say if a security group is created on a job-based security group, okay, let's say
Mm-hmm.
if a security group is created for the director level job security group, then that the person who is sitting on that particular director job profile, should have the permissions of the details, okay, which is assigned to that particular security group, right? That particular security group, if that particular security group has the access, then the director should have the access, right? But what will happen is, in such scenarios you might see some gaps, so we will discuss about that gaps as well, those gaps as well, under the job based security groups especially. Okay, so we will try to cover the different types of security groups which you have in Workday, so that you should know the difference between all those security groups going forward. Okay, and we will connect it with the module 6, that is the Workday security scenarios. Okay, so there might be a chance that we will cover the module 4 and module 6 together, and then we will move to the module 5. But it's just that we segregated the scenarios for the Workday security, the real-time scenarios for the Workday security, and the theory part of the Workday security differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, then we might have, okay, so then we will go ahead and try to cover the Workday gap use cases. So where you might see the different gap. Let's say if you are trying to migrate from one instance from one tenant to another, so you might face some issues in those in that particular migration. So in your career, did you ever get a chance to migrate the things from one tenant to another?
Not in Workday.
Okay, okay, no issues. But we will try to show you that as well. We will try to. I believe we won't be having the dual tenants here, more than one tenants. But again, we will show you how you can migrate the things from one tenant to another. And let's say if there are issues in between those tenants, so how you can go ahead and handle such issues from your end. Guess what are the steps you should take care while,
Okay.
yeah, while handling such cases.
Okay. So Mayank, you have elaborated everything here,
Right.
whatever would be covered here. But would you just let me know that where are the business process, because those are the basic one, right? And earlier, I think mentioned in the very first, not the session, but when we contacted that
Mm-hmm.
the hire to retire thing, like in the session, at least the session must be covering the basic thing there, like the business processes, because the business
Okay.
processes one of the critical and the yeah,
R-
one of the critical part of the workday. Whatever we are doing, everything that is all
right.
based on the processes.
Okay. 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 Sure. So we will go ahead and include that as well. But these are
Because I
prepared.
think,
Uh,
sorry to interrupt, but I think that the PBO and the RBO, that is not that won't be taking much time, because they're the
right.
basic things. And
Right.
it, so in place of that thing, we would be covering, if we would be covering that business processes, that would be great. Why? Because
Sure.
the PBO RBO will be already be included there in the reporting part, right? So
Right.
the
Right.
when we'll be going for the reporting part, then we could be using those the PBO RBO. That is a basic thing, right?
Right. Right. That's right. Okay. But these contents has been prepared by the team by looking at the job descriptions which was received to us. Okay. But
Because
anyways.
I saw the job description too, and I
Mhm.
saw, and I was keeping in mind that these are the things that the I don't know. I know the taglines, but I don't
Mhm.
know that what in it you are covering. So that's why I was just waiting for that to listen that thing. And
Okay. Okay.
besides that, the GDs were covering like the implementation, like support and the testing. So at
Right.
least an overview of these things, because we are going for a preparation that is dedicated for cracking some interviews.
Right.
That is not for learning or know about the functionality, because I did it earlier as well. But yeah,
Right.
definitely you would be going with much more complex scenarios with the functionality, that would be definitely helping me out. But adding it with something like which is missing, that is of starting with the how we go for the implementation, what all talent and the sorry, what all tenant will be included, and the landscape is there, and that is the basic overview. And then
Okay.
we
Okay.
proceed ahead.
Sure, sure. Okay, sure. We will try to cover that as well. So thanks for this thing. Okay, so we will try to cover this thing. So regarding the tenants, okay, so how like what are the different things involved while implementing the Workday module into to an organization? Okay, so what are different tenants involved? That's okay. So we will talk about that. Okay, we will, yes,
Okay.
we will focus
And
on that.
Yeah, and the testing, how do we do the
Right,
testing of these things? Because these are the critical things when we are going
right,
for whether support or implementation projects. These things actually that drives the whole project.
right.
So we can't ignore these things. And then besides that, the testing scenarios, the test
Okay,
planning, how the test planning is done, the testing scenario means if we put the support there or the implementation there, and these are the small words but having a lot of things in it.
right.
So that's why I'm saying that whatever we are doing,
Mhm.
just will take it towards that way, that if we are implementing or if we are supporting what we're doing in it, and then we are going for testing, and then we'll migrating it
Okay,
to the production in that way.
sure. Okay, sure, sure. So thanks for that. Yeah,
Means a start to end scenarios, start to end
right.
scenarios.
Okay, so we will try to cover that as well. So just give us today's time. We will discuss internally and we will try to include that as well here in this particular sessions. Okay. So we
Okay.
have, yeah, we have two recommendations from you. So we'll try to include the business process. Okay. Under the business process, we will talk about, what are the different aspects of the business process, as well as the basics of Workday HCM. Under the business process, we'll talk about the basics of Workday HCM, the configuration of the Workday, the real-time configuration of the Workday business processes. What are the different steps involved? What are the, different types of conditions involved in that particular
And the
business process?
security part, I think, also mentioned there, right? The
Right.
business process security. So that
Right.
is also one of the critical
Okay.
one.
So under the Workday security, we will talk about the business process
Business
security.
process. Okay, that's
Okay.
great.
The,
But
right.
but in the business object, I think, or in the Workday core SCM, we could include if the business process, it would
Okay.
be like more relevant, and it will be demonstrating. When you will be demonstrating, that will be,
Mhm.
I'll be getting that thing with the use of the business process. If we are going for the performance review, just
Mhm.
like that, the performance review, if you're putting it something, or the business process scenario will be putting it into it,
Right.
then it will be great.
Okay. Sure. Sure. We will try to include that as well. Okay. So we will talk about this thing internally and we'll try to update these things. Okay. From our end and we'll
Okay,
keep you posted. Yeah.
sure.
Any other recommendations here? I believe if I include these two, then this should cover
Uh,
the,
Yes,
right?
and then besides that, yeah, if I'll get any of the job description, definitely I'll be mentioning it here,
Okay.
so that whatever we are going with, we'll get
Mhm.
a overview. Or if there is a time is limited and not able to, deliver everything, you could
Mhm.
do one more thing there, that because there is a, the portal that is created, and here the material will be shared to me. So in that case, the real-time scenario, you write down the real-time scenario and then the
Mhm.
solution of it, and it would be much easier for me. And or you could give me the lab sessions, and
Okay.
in that case, I would be doing it. And if I'll be getting stuck, I'll be asking you, or I'll be query in that portal. In
Okay.
that case,
Okay.
getting those queries as well.
Right, sure. So yeah, so we can follow this thing here. Okay. So we already have the lab activities. So we will discuss about the questions pertaining to those activities in the sessions. Okay. And
Mhm.
if I have the real-time scenarios, which might not be covered in this session, so I will provide the write-up for those scenarios with the solutions as well.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because the
Right.
real-time scenario, because the purpose of this training is not only the trading,
Right.
the conventional training, but the purpose is the dedicated one for something for the realistic one. Seems like that. Yeah, I
Right.
really have worked on that workday kind of thing.
Okay. Sure. Sure. We will try to cover those aspects as
Okay,
well. Okay. Sure.
yeah, sure.
So that was it about for today. Okay. I will try to update these details in the tenant. Okay, and we'll keep you posted. So let's meet tomorrow in that case, Bindu. Okay.
Okay,
I will keep you
so
posted.
are we not taking session today?
No, not today. So I will. So this is the overview which I wanted to provide. So we will.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So because as we wanted to start from the performance review, but again, we will try to cover the business process details first, and then we will
Yeah,
move to the performance review.
yeah, because
Okay.
that's the reason. That's the only
Right.
reason that I asked you to because there was a separate thing for EIB, because EIB is not an independent thing that will be
Right.
covering within the integration part. It will be covering like reporting part and all. So in that case we could be cover, or because I have worked on it as well.
Okay.
So
In EIBs, you have already worked?
um, I can't say that though, yeah, but
Okay.
really for a small span of time, but yeah,
Right.
but if it's far back, so I have understanding about it.
Okay.
But so far as the business process, because if we are using the core HCM, if in core HCM, what are the necessary details? Like the basics,
Right.
I know, but the
Right.
business processes is much more important than anything else. And then we'll go moving forward with the performance and everything. So a
Right.
slight modification required. And
Okay.
before starting it, I want that it must be initiated within a scenario like that is an implementation project. What we are doing implementation project, or what we are doing in the support project. So
Right.
mention it in that way, that the implementation project, just write down a write up with that thing, that the implementation project, what challenges we usually get, the
Okay.
implementation, it could be the common challenges, or it could be the specific challenges, because if you are going for an interview, you need to
Right.
elaborate something like what challenges you have faced while going for that implementation. Okay, and while supporting, what exceptional thing you have faced, or the challenges you have faced, or the
Right.
critical scenario that you have faced. So these kind of questions are being put here, so we
Okay.
need the answers of those things. So in specific, it could be specific to particular module, or it could
Right.
be specific, or it could be the generic one, but that would be the seems like the realistic one.
Okay. Sure. Sure. We will talk about that. Okay. We will try to
Okay.
prepare something for that and we will talk about that in the next set of classes.
Yeah, sure, man. Because
Sure.
the PPTs I have gone through, yeah,
Mhm.
that are definitely really good. And
Right.
but we need some slight modification, adding on more scenarios, adding on something like the overview of everything, like the testing
Hmm.
part. How do we do testing? Sometimes
Right.
the position comes up like the testing lead. So
Right.
how do you managing the
Right.
overall testing of the workday? So
Right.
that's the thing, that's the scenario, like we do the test planning based on what are the basic ground. So the based on that, we'll do the test cases and test script. So test script, test cases are again the realistic scenarios, right,
Right.
which
Right.
we're working on, but we need to put it or frame it in that thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you would be delivering, that would be great. But if
Right.
you think that the time is limited, you could
Hmm.
just make a write up and then put it into the material. And then
Okay.
if I have any question, I'll be asking you
Hmm.
at the time of session. So it won't be time consuming, and it would be covering more of the concepts and more of the aspect of it.
Okay. Sure. Sure. We will try to do that. Okay.
Okay, man.
Right. So yeah, we will try to modify the slides as well as the course curriculum, which I have shown you, and then we will carry this discussion forward from the next class. Okay, let me
Okay.
work internally with the team.
Okay. Would it be
Okay.
tomorrow?
Yes, we will keep you informed in the chat. Okay, in the Workday, sorry, in the WhatsApp group. Okay, we'll keep you
Okay.
posted with that thing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Sure.
sure, sure. So thank you for joining. Okay,
Thank you,
let
Mayank.
yeah, I will keep you
Thank you so
posted with the
much.
details. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.
Thank you, Mayank. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.